What was there a black market for at your school that wasn't drugs? I've posted this before, but it fits perfectly here. They got rid of the soda machines at my high school, which caused the students to get really pissed. A buddy of mine bought a bunch of 12 packs of store-brand sodas for $3 each and a huge cooler. He showed up the very next day after they removed the machines and charged $1 per soda. The demand was insane and he sold out each day right when lunch started. The staff got pissed and stopped allowing him to bring the cooler. So instead, he brought a huge gym bag that he claimed he needed for PE class and filled it with sodas. He couldn't keep up with the demand, so he cut another guy in and had him carry a gym bag too. Years after he graduated, his sister attended the same high school and someone asked her if her brother was the soda guy. He had become a legend just that fast, LOL. Our lunch ladies would force everyone to take a milk at lunch because of some law that said students had to have a certain amount of calories, vitamins, whatever. There was a kid at my school who would go around and collect any unwanted milks and redistribute them to other kids who wanted more milk and missed out on chocolate milk. He was like Milk Robin Hood. I used to sell quesadillas at school. My mom would make them right before lunch and then drop them off in a black Nike duffel bag. She would make about 30 to 40 quesadillas for about $20 and sell them for $4 each. Your mom is part of a cartel. She made a profit up to $2,800 a month from doing this. It's genius, non-taxable, and she had to only work a couple of hours a day. Rocks. In elementary school, there were a lot of rocks in the outdoor play area, and we would collect and trade the rocks that looked the coolest. None of us had money at the time, so occasionally we traded toys for rocks as well. They're minerals. A friend and I created a black market in plain sight. A couple of friends in the marching band gave us their fundraiser boxes after they sold their candy. We bought bulk candy and sold it in class, and not a single teacher questioned our fundraiser. Greed brought us down. We tried to make a pyramid scheme where we sold candy kits to recruits, but one of the recruits lost his kit and wanted his money back. He threatened to snitch, so we shut the whole thing down. A kid at my high school did the same thing, had one of those boxes that started out as a fundraiser for his Eagle Scout project. However, he soon realized he could just keep selling out of the box indefinitely, starting buying in bulk and keeping the profit. After a while, everyone realized what he was doing, but no one said anything. He had the teachers addicted too. They all couldn't go on without that 1 p.m. chocolate fix. We called him Andy the Mexican Candy Man. He carried that damn box for 3 years. Pretty sure he bought a car with the profits. Soda. Students used to be able to get into the unlocked teacher's lounge and get sodas from the machine. But one day they decided to switch out all the sodas with weird, healthier alternatives. One kid decided to fill his entire locker with boxes of cans of sodas and start selling them. Some teachers bought from him too. I was in band in middle school and the teacher's lounge was unlocked before school when we rehearsed. It had candy and soda, which was off limits to students. I used to buy it without markup for my friends, and twice as much for other people. The teachers even caught me a few times. I would just mutter, "So that's what the teacher lounge looks like," and walked out. Never got in trouble. Back in middle school, I sold gum and ended up having to hire people to keep up with demand. Gum wasn't allowed on campus, and my business got so big that the school actually ended up changing its rule and allowed gum in order to put my business out of business, when in reality, it just boosted my customer base because more kids wanted gum. In order to keep your business out of business, couldn't they just enforce the rules and punish you for having gum on campus? Salt packets. Healthy eating rules have removed literally all the salt from our food at school. It all tastes like ours. So people steal packets from McDonald's and sell them at school for a profit. What a crime! Adding salt to your food. This is one of the most 1984 things I've read recently. In 7th grade, a kid went on vacation and came back with a big pile of those crappy plastic Mardi Gras bead necklaces. He gave one to every kid in the class. It was probably about 5 minutes before the first one was broken, sending beads spilling all over the floor. It was soon discovered that beads made a perfect little projectile, and every kid had their own ammunition. Thus began the bead wars. Every time the teacher turned to face the board, beads would fly across the classroom. If you weren't alert, beads would get pinged off your head and might even catch you in the eye. Rulers and elastic bands were turned into bead catapults. Books and binders became shields. A friend of mine even used a spring mechanism in a stapler to engineer it into a bead shotgun. Efforts were made to confiscate the beads after Cody hit the teacher with a bead. The efforts failed. Kids had secret bead stashes, and the beads were too small to round up every last one. The war lasted for weeks. As ammunition ran low, kids began throwing pencils and erasers. The fun ended when a girl was hit in the head with a dictionary and went crying to the teacher. The whole class got detention and was assigned a crap load of extra homework. For the rest of the year, though, every once in a while, you would occasionally hear the distinctive tap, 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 tap of a thrown bead bouncing to a stop. This is one of the more interesting ones. Similar thing in my 11th grade of high school. We found out you can take baby carrots and break them in half and squeeze them, and they'll go flying out. There were just carrots all over the floor for about a week or two. Monster Energy Drink. When I was in high school, we went through Michelle Obama's Healthy Kids Act transition. As a freshman, we had all kinds of pop and chips and junk food, but by senior year, they had slowly weaned out everything unhealthy from the vending machines and cafeteria. The computer design teacher began selling monsters to students. He would buy them by the case and sell them $2 a pop and turn a pretty good profit. There was always a line out the door to his room in the mornings. He got caught and was forced to stop. That lasted like 2 months. He started selling them again, but this time us students were real secretive, so it didn't get taken away again. Yeah, Michelle's plan was a major fail. Our school started healthier foods, but a lot of kids just threw it away and ate Little Debbie snacks from home. Michelle arguably made things worse. My mom worked for the school when this happened and told me that the school lost over 60% of its profit because almost everyone started bringing their own food. Only seniors were allowed off-campus lunch. As seniors, we would go to Little Caesars, get 4 $5 hot and ready pizzas and sell them at $3 a slice. We'd get a $19 profit per pizza. We did this normally twice a week. Wonder if this is why my high school suddenly started selling Papa John's pizza at some point while I went. We had a time in school where people bought cheap electric fly swatters and snapped the main part off, but left 2 little wires coming out of the handle, little tasers for $5. Used to use electric grill lighters. The concept is the same. Marbles were really big for like a year in elementary school. There were people setting up variations of shoot down this marble pyramid with your marble, and each try cost the marble you threw. And winning would mean you took the marbles from the pyramid. Then there were the Chinese marbles. I don't even know if they actually are Chinese, but they were flat and fancy and had an exchange rate of like 20 to 1. Using a Chinese marble in a game was basically showing off. Eventually, our marble-based economy died out in favor of football cards and other fads. It's like humans are designed for economics. Dried fish. No jokes. It was in a boarding school for boys, and you might know teenage boys are always hungry. So in 8th grade, this dude miraculously finds a few boxes of dried fish. In this environment, this is basically unlimited power. For 2 weeks, he was our Pablo Escobar. After the first 2 days, dried fish became our currency. You're out of toilet paper? Tough luck. Bring out your fish. Need help with homework? Better have some fish. It's amazing how we established the system in mere days. I went to high school in Alabama. The smoking age in Alabama is 19. We lived about 40 miles away from the Florida border where the smoking age is 18. Once I turned 18, I became a cigarette and dip smuggler. This sounds way too familiar. Are you from Dothan or Ozark area? Sweets and Capri Sun. As we were not allowed those on our school campus, so I just created my first gummy bear cartel until a teacher found out. The best thing, we just gave him a weekly free pack of gummy bears so he would look away. I have had my own candy cartel. I knew a guy who lived in the ghetto who provided a significant portion of his household income selling penny candy at school. He'd bring a large duffel bag and sell it all by lunch, then leave. From middle school until they expelled him for selling candy in high school. Now he has a roadside fruit vegetable stand. When I was in elementary school, I held a gambling ring that mostly revolved around good stationery. We were stupid. Candy necklaces. When I was in middle school, people would buy them at the store for 10 cents each, and then sell them at school for 50 cents each. I never understood how that market worked, since they weren't exactly an illicit item. Because they are a lethal weapon. Step 1, remove necklace. Step 2, hold a single sweet between your front teeth. Make sure your lips aren't covering it and pull back, making the elastic tight. Step 3. Bite sweet in half. Step 4. Laugh uncontrollably as the other half of the sweet travels at high velocity into the back of someone's head. In elementary school, there was a thriving black market for cinnamon toothpicks. These were just toothpicks that had been dipped in cinnamon oil. The kids got the idea cinnamon toothpicks were contraband, so they were sold back and forth in little foil packets. There were producers, pushers, consumers. Eventually, the teachers and administrators found out about the illicit cinnamon toothpicks, and they were banned from school. Notes were sent home to parents warning of this new menace to the welfare of the youth. Some kids got suspended. It got way out of hand. They were just cinnamon toothpicks. All they would do is burn your tongue a little. I think sometimes schools just assume that there's something insidious going on, like the kids are using the toothpicks for something bad. The school doesn't know what the kids are using the toothpicks for, so they gotta ban them. Definitely sugary drinks. Our school had all diet and no calorie drinks after they passed a law to remove sugar from our district. People were selling Arizona's $1 cans from their lockers with a bit of a markup to make money. Despicable. Maybe I should sell some Arizona marked up at my local store. It's only 54 cents a can. I turned my locker into a fridge by insulating it and putting ice packs on the top and replacing them every day. I sold Mountain Dew to people because it was banned from the vending machines. Mrs. Obama wanted the children of America to eat healthy, and now in the school I teach in, there are no salt packets because too much salt is unhealthy. The real soda has been removed from the vending machines with flavor water drinks and cheese sticks. Kids are selling salt packets for a nickel to other kids. Throw in a couple of dollars and they will sneak into our teacher's lounge and get a Coke from our vending machine. Sorry, Mrs. Obama, kids don't want saltless fries. Yeah, Michelle's plan was a major fail. Our school started serving healthier foods, but a lot of kids just threw it away and ate Little Debbie snacks from home. Michelle arguably made things worse. I was the black market. Back in college, I used to sell my services doing projects for people who were too lazy and too rich to do their homework. Don't have time to do this research paper? Send it to me and I'll do it for cash. Good business back in the day, but these days, they are far too aware of this, and you will get caught.